Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about FC26 and whether you should trust EA and go ahead with that pre-order, because quite a few people have been asking me. Obviously the beta's been out, I've not played too much of that, but I'll explain everything, from my side, in my opinion, what we should do, or at least what I'm going to do, and you guys can come up with your own judgment. If you enjoy this style of video, do leave a like. We're going to jump straight into it, and let's go. If you need the cheapest FC25 coins to build your super team, then check out MMOEXP by clicking the link down below and use code JambooUK for 8% off. Okay, so FC26, it's not too long to go now. It's less than a month away, which is so refreshing, by the way. I think we all need it. I mean, I am not somebody that normally will get excited like for a new FIFA title, because my mindset 99% of the time is that it's just another FIFA. It's going to be basically the same old, you're going to have a few different animations. It's going to be the same thing. And this year more than ever, I think it's such a needed and welcome change, because at least in my opinion, you guys can let me know exactly how you feel. This year, FC25 has been a complete disaster. I think most people are in the same boat. I actually envy you if you're somebody that somehow enjoyed the cycle of FC25. I want some of whatever you're on, because I don't know how you could, but if you have, then that is fair enough. But we are approaching a new installment, which is obviously FC26. And before I explain my thoughts and stuff, I just want to clear something up, by the way, because I quite often, when I make some sort of video, if there's anything like remotely positive I say towards EA, I get called like an EA shill and stuff. Guys, if you watch this channel like even remotely regularly, you will understand that that is the opposite of the truth. I am so often criticizing EA, quite literally the opposite of an EA shill. Like, for one, I promote coins, which people seem to just sort of skim over. Like, I do not work or have any relationship with EA. They wouldn't work with me. I promote coins, which is quite literally the opposite of what they want. So let's, we'll clear that up there. That's it's just not possible for me to be in EA's good books, and I've got no motive at all, for praising them unfairly, if you will. So there is that. So anyway, FC26, my opinion. Now, I actually said a while ago on streams and videos that because of just how bad FC25 was, and I'm not even just saying bad in the sense of us not enjoying it, I think it's gone past that. In previous years, we've had cycles, where people moan, but they're still addicted to the game. People are 1 minute shouting and moaning at EA, and then the next spending money. This year was very different, and I think it was the worst possible scenario for EA, because I think this game, FC25, was that bad where people went beyond the frustration and it moved towards actually just not caring about the game, and that is a far worse situation for EA. I'm no expert on the figures, this isn't factual or anything, but from what I understand, this year went down so badly that it affected like stock prices and stuff of EA. Again, I'm not 100% certain on figures, whatever, maybe it's not true. From what I understand, it is, and that is not good. That is the worst possible thing for EA, which is why a while ago I actually predicted that FC26, I think we will see some actual change. Not because EA are doing it out of the goodness of their heart, because I've been around a long time, like 15 plus years at this point, and I know that EA they like a pound note. They like the dollar signs. That is what they're in it for. Fair enough, it's a business, whatever. This year, I think it is going to be different. And again, not because EA are being nice and want to treat us, because they simply have to, because they cannot afford to have another year like FC25. This franchise, if we had another year or two like this, it would be game over. Like, people just wouldn't come back. And that is why EA have made this extra effort, you see in all the promo videos and stuff for FC26, where they're talking about, they literally were pulling up like negative comments of the community, stuff like make the game quicker. You know, you guys have seen the trailer. That was all in there. They've emphasized and made a real point that they are going to try and deliver on exactly what we've been asking for, which is so different to the approach that they have taken ever. They have never done anything like that. You know, pulling up negative comments and putting it on the official trailer, that is absolutely unheard of for EA. They're just not normally that in line or in tune with the community, and it goes to, I mean, it doesn't prove anything, like we haven't played the game yet, but it does sort of back up the argument I made as to how I feel and why I feel that there is going to be some real change this year. And we've seen little clips in terms of the beta. I've not really played it. I've played like less than a handful of games. Not really interested. In my experience, you know, all the time I've been around, the beta never seems to be anything like the actual game. From what I understand, when it comes to the beta, it's quite an old version of the game every time. So it's just not relevant to what we're actually going to be playing in a month's time. And I also don't want to play it because I want to be hyped for the game, and the worst thing for me would be like playing a beta. Imagine I absolutely despised it. Like, imagine the beta was just FC25. I have no idea, by the way. I've not given it enough time, but just imagine it was, and I hated the game before it had even been released. That is not what I want. So I've held off on the beta, but it sounds really positive from what EA have done in the trailers and stuff. I know that obviously they're going to be picking the best bits. They want the game to look as good as possible, but just a few things that I saw, you know, in those release trailers for the gameplay just does look sped up. It just does look more responsive, and it's really what's needed. There is nothing more that I would like than this game to actually just pop off. People love playing the game, and for me as well, like, it would make my life so much easier. It's almost hard to fathom at this point because of how long I've been around, and there is some titles that I've sort of enjoyed. You know, FIFA 20 when I was still a pro. I wouldn't say, that's the thing, I didn't really enjoy it for the gameplay, but I enjoyed the stuff around it, the competitive. You know, the champs back then was a lot more fun. I hate the champ system we have now, you know, with just 15 games and crazy skill-based matchmaking. It's just not fun. But FC26 is sounding like some really positive changes. You know, they're adding in different game modes as well, which we've been crying out for, and it just sounds a lot more positive. They're talking about slowing down the power curve, which is really important. That is one of the main factors, you know, that destroyed FC25. Everyone had like a near enough end game team by like December, and it just, the thing with Ultimate Team is you need all year round to actually have an incentive to go and play the game and upgrade your team, which is something that this year was just non-existent. And especially when the gameplay was as bad as it was, without an incentive to play the gameplay, there is absolutely no way. Like, this game was just doomed from the start, to be honest with you. But in terms of pre-ordering FC26, and again, I want to emphasize, I'm not an EA shill. I'm not on the payroll. You know, they've not told me to say this. I think this year, more than any other, it is worth giving it a go. Because the amount of hype that is going into giving us all what we want, I think, you know, if they don't deliver this year, you can give up and never trust them again. I don't often give EA the benefit of a doubt. And again, I don't think they're doing it out of the goodness of their heart. However, I actually do think that we might be able to see possibly one of the best titles that we've had in the last 5 odd years. Because when is it? I want to say from like FIFA 21 onwards. In my opinion, they've all been pretty garbage. I think we're about to see something better. And, you know, this video may come back and bite me in 2 months' time, you know, when people are going absolutely crazy and the game's garbage. If it does, that is my bad. I'm trusting them on this one. From what I've seen, from what I'm hearing, and just the situation that I know they must be in the sense of having to deliver a good game to get people back in and keep them there, I think it's worth a punt, guys. I really do. I pre-ordered yesterday. The bonuses now are gone. I think you had to order before August 26th, you know, for some of the crazy bonuses. But I've ordered the Ultimate Edition, and I'm actually going to settle down and try and grind my own account this year as well, which will be something a little bit different on the content. I am excited. I can't lie. I am excited. I think we're about to see something different. We need to anyway, because if we don't see something different, we're absolutely doomed. But let me know your opinion in the comments if you made it this far. Have you pre-ordered? Are you going to pre-order? And what are your general thoughts going into the game? Guys, it can't come around quick enough. FC25, man, it is absolutely dead. I hope you enjoyed this little video of me chatting some nonsense. Appreciate you guys watching. Catch you on the next one, and peace.